Lesson 13-5, Compute Customary Units. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to compute with customary units of length, capacity, and weight. Make sure you have your pencil and paper ready so you can work right along with me. To add or subtract customary units, first add or subtract like units, then regroup to rename one unit to another as needed. Here in this example, we have 5 feet 7 inches plus 8 feet 9 inches. So first I'm going to add the like units. So 7 plus 9 equals 16 inches. And then 8 feet plus 5 feet equals 13 feet. But now if I take a look here, I have 16 inches. So that I'm going to need to regroup because I can pull out a whole foot from there. I know that 12 inches equals 1 foot, so I'm going to subtract out 12 inches from there, and I'm left with 4 inches left over. So this whole 12 inches that I pulled out is equal to 1 foot, so I can add another 1 foot here. So that equals 14 feet 4 inches. Alright, I want you to try this one. 8 feet 4 inches plus 3 feet 10 inches. See what you get and then come back and check your work against mine. Alright, as I'm adding up here, I have 14 inches. And then 8 feet plus 3 feet would equal 11 feet. But now as I take a look at my answer, I see this 14 inches. That's more than a foot, so I can take out that foot, so minus 12 inches, and I'm going to add it to this 1 foot here. So now I have 12 feet, 14 minus 12, and then I only have 2 inches left over. So it would be 12 feet, 2 inches. All right, I hope that's what you were able to get for this adding one. Here's an example with subtracting. So we have 9 gallons, 1 quart, minus 4 gallons, 3 quarts. So as I take a look here, I can't subtract 1 minus 3, so I need to borrow from here. So I'm going to borrow a whole gallon. So now I have 8 gallons left. So then I have to think, how many gallons are in 1 quart? Or sorry, how many quarts are in 1 gallon? There's 4 quarts. So I'm adding 4 over here. So 4 plus 1 equals 5, because remember, 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So that's why I'm adding a 4 over here instead of the usual 1 when we're carrying over. I'm converting between units. So getting back to the problem, now I can subtract. I have 5 quarts minus 3 quarts. That leaves me with 2 quarts. 8 gallons minus 4 gallons equals 4 gallons. So I would have 4 gallons, 2 quarts. Okay, I want you to try this subtraction one on your own. 3 feet 8 inches minus 1 foot 10 inches. So make sure that you're borrowing units as you need to before you actually do the subtraction, and then come back and check your work against mine. Alright, so I look over here and I have 8 minus 10. I can't do that, so I need to borrow 1 foot. So I now have 2 feet left, and I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I'm going to take this 12 inches and add it to this 8 inches. So 12 plus 8, now I actually have 20 inches. So 20 inches minus 10 inches leaves me with just 10 inches. 2 minus 1 equals 1 foot. So the answer is 1 foot, 10 inches. Okay, I hope that's what you were able to get as well on that one. So to multiply with customary units, there's 2 different ways you can do that. You can multiply by each unit, then regroup to rename one unit to another, or you can just begin by renaming all units as like units, then you multiply and then regroup. So I'll actually show you that both ways. Here's the first way. I'm going to multiply by each unit, then I'm going to regroup to rename one unit to another. So I have 9 feet 4 inches times 3. So first I'll multiply. 4 times 3 is 12 inches. And then 3 times 9 is 27 feet. So now I take a look here and I see that I have 12 inches. I know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. So I can actually take that 12 inches and turn it into 1 foot and add it to here. So then I have 28 feet. So that's the first way of doing it. The second way is taking the 9 feet 3 inches and converting it. So I would take my 9 feet 4 inches and I'm going to convert that all into inches. So 9 times 12, because there's 12 inches in every foot, and that gives me 108 inches. Then I add in the 4 that I already had. 108 plus 4 equals 112 inches. So now I'm going to, instead of multiplying 9 feet 4 inches by 3, I'll multiply 112 inches times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that would be 336 inches. Now I'll need to divide that by 12 in order to see how many inches and feet there are in there. So 336 divided by 12, and that goes in there 28 times. So the answer would be 28 feet, which is what we had when we did it the other way. So whichever way makes sense to you and whichever way you prefer, feel free to use that way. So I want you to try this one, 2 feet 3 inches times 2. Pause the video and then come back and check your work against mine. Okay, so I'm going to figure this one out and then just check your answer against mine because you may have used a different method than the one that I choose. So I'm just going to start off by multiplying. 2 times 3 is 6 inches. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's 4 feet 6 inches. So I hope that's what you were able to get as well for that one. Now let's move on to dividing. So to divide with customary units, you first rename all units as like units, then you rename, and then you regroup. So we're given 3 pounds 8 ounces divided by 2. I know I remember that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I'm going to change this all into ounces. So it will be 3 pounds times 16. So that way I have all ounces, plus this 8 ounces that I already had. So 3 times 16 gives me 48 ounces, plus 8 ounces, equals 56 ounces. So now I have that into ounces, now I'm ready to divide. So I have 56 ounces divided by 2. And that equals 28 ounces. So now that I have this into ounces, I take a look and I remember, well, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So I can divide this 28 by 16. So that way I get it down into pounds and ounces again. So 16 goes into 28 one whole time. So there's 1 pound and there's 12 ounces left over. So I want you to try this one on your own. There are a lot more steps for dividing, but just break it down step by step and I know you can get it. So 4 yards, 1 foot divided by 3. So remember, there are 3 feet equal 1 yard. All right, pause the video and then come back and check your work against mine. So I have 4 yards, 1 foot, so I'm going to need to change this all into feet. So 4 yards times 3 feet equals 12 feet plus that extra 1 foot that I had equals 13 feet. So I have 13 feet now divided by 3. So that would give me 4, and then it goes in there 4 whole times. That goes in there 4 times, and then I have 1/3 left. And this is all in feet. So I have 4 feet. I know I can take out 1 whole yard. So if I take out 1 whole yard, that's minus 3 feet. And I'm left with 1 1/3 feet. So I have 1 yard now that I've pulled out. And then I have 1 foot. And then I have 1/3 of a foot. Well, 1/3 of a foot is 4 inches. So 1 yard, 1 foot, 4 inches. All right, I hope that's what you were able to get as well. Rewatch any part of today's video and review your notes that you need to before heading off to do today's lesson.